What is going on, everybody? Fluxo here and welcome to this week's video. This week we're going to be starting on a fresh world by turning the infamous waterfall by Paradise Island into a dam. This will eventually connect the whole new city that we're going to be building within the surrounding area. Just before we jump into this one, I just want to, as always, thank you guys for your continued support, as we are now encroaching onto 9,000 subscribers, which takes us ever so closer to our end of year goal of 10,000. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know via the likes, the comments, or maybe even consider subscribing if you are new here. Without further ado, let's get into the video. But the idea behind this video is to hopefully give you guys some help with mapping out your foundations for a build like this. We're going to start by outlining the waterfall with foundations to give us a better idea of where we're going to build and what we're going to build. In doing this, we need to ensure that these 3 points here are covered completely. I started by aligning foundations around the waterfall, ensuring that every part of the terrain was covered and no rocks would poke through for the structure of the dam. Remember that this is going to cover your entire outline for your build, so make sure that you're taking any of your foundations out wide enough to cover the terrain below or above your outline. I get a lot of people asking in the comments why I lay fix-it foundations first and then coat them with the concrete or asphalt. I do this purely because the pattern on the fix-it foundation is easiest to see which direction I am placing the foundation itself. Once you are happy with your top outline, then colour it with your desired foundation. Next up is the lower section of the dam. With how the water physics work in this game, I find it looks better only exposing the sections that show flowing water. Anything else is better to cover over with foundations. Remember, this is only a rough outline of the dam, so if the line itself doesn't match up with the waterfall, then don't worry, as later we will amend these lines perfectly with the terrain itself. Again, once you are happy with the outline and direction of your foundations, then coat them with your desired foundation. As you can now see, we have a rough outline of the waterfall itself, covering any terrain we don't want, whilst at the same time exposing all areas of flowing water. Next up, we're going to start giving shape to the outline by removing the 90-degree angles to give the build itself more shape and depth that fits its surrounding terrain. I started by using the road barrier technique on all right angles on the upper level of the dam. This removes that box feeling and gives an outline with more character and shape going forward. Whilst you are doing this, please ensure that you are still overlapping any terrain above or below these foundations, as terrain poking through the walls is what you don't want. With us not being able to use the barriers on the lower deck, I outline the existing foundations by using a freehand technique. This takes us away from keeping the foundations on grid, so I only use this outside of existing foundations to give the trim that aligns with the waterfall itself. As you can see, the waterfall now has its shape, which is only exposing the flowing water, which is what we need. Next up, we're going to simply thicken this outside foundations before we apply our blueprinted grid for the water sections to flow through. Before we install the grids for the flowing water, we need to thicken the existing outline so we can apply the grids underneath. With the outline now thickened, we can delete the lower foundations and start installing our gateway grids for the water. I'm going to use a blueprint for this, but if you would like to see how the grids are done, I will leave a link to the video in the description below. Corner was still exposing water flow, I amended the angle and added a diagonal grid gateway to cover the water flow underneath. In my opinion, these grids really help give the dam a look like it's operational and letting the water through at a controlled rate. The grids across the upper dam now installed, it was time to finish off some final shaping before installing the wall to meet with the lower dam. I started to install the upper outline to meet the lower part of the dam with the connecting wall. Again, I amended the upper outline slightly to bring it out some more so the wall would cover the terrain down below completely. From there I started to fill in the above flooring to cover up the whole terrain. After that, I continued bringing down the dam walls to where I needed them to be. Continuing on, I brought the back panel to the centre of the dam and then started to reshape the outline of the centre pillar to bring the walls down and meet the lower deck of the dam. I continued this process for the remaining untouched outline of the dam. This gave me a firm structure to work off when it came to decorate later on. Now I had brought the walls down to the lower deck, it was finally time to add the water gate grids to the lower section of the dam. had to raise the whole platform itself as I found the water gates looked better at a raised level, so I raised the entire platform to amend it to its new height. I use concrete pillars to finish off the edging before I bring the rest of the platform up to its new level. Followed the exact same concept as the last part for the lower deck. I raised the floor to better suit the water gate grids and added some finishing touches to smooth off the whole area. Using blueprints for the grid saved me a lot of time, but I started to tend to these smaller areas personally as they were quite difficult to amend. I used the barrier method to edge off this corner before adding my last gridded water gate. I then deleted the previous platform and installed it at its newest height. The last thing I had to add for the layout floor was the re-entry grids for the lower deck. I made blueprints of these and installed them at the foot of each waterfall. Followed the exact same concept for the left side lower deck for both of the re-entry points for both waterfalls. The only slight difference I made here was widening the grids by removing the concrete pillar edging and continued the grid into the terrain. Lastly, all that was left to do was to raise the two main pillars so they completely covered the terrain. This is the perfect time to let all of you guys know that I'm officially streaming now over on Twitch once a week. The link is in the description down below. I ended up actually finishing the aesthetics of this build over in the live streams. I will also be hopefully streaming once a week over here on YouTube as well, and then uploading the VODs afterwards. So this will mean that I'll be streaming over here on Mondays and then over on Twitch on Fridays. You can catch any of the links to all this or any of the pings in the Discord. All the links are down below. I will show you a showcase of this current build in its current state now after the live streams and it being finished. But for future reference, and make sure you follow all the links provided in the description down below. As always, I just want to thank you all for your continued support. It is just overwhelming. Looking forward to hitting 10,000 subscribers also on this channel. Huge milestone for us and everyone that's been involved in this whole journey. Thank you all for your support. Enjoy the finished showcase, but as for myself, I will catch you all in the Discord.